1. Unsuccessful in his working life and limited in his social relations. 2. Defeatist, quick, hopeless, unable to face problems and dilemmas. 3. Depends on lying and reaching its goals. 4. Misses fun and frowning and closure are signs of masculinity. 5. Rigid in his opinions, unjust in his care, not mastering dialogue and seeing the truth only for what it is. 6. Aggressive, living in a state of degradation and feelings of goodness and compassion towards his family members in general, and his wife in particular. 7. He claims to be a very jealous man, and his jealousy is a pathological condition and not a stand at God's limits. 8. The wife is just a possession of the house. She has no opinion of him. 9. He understands the text of the Sharia as he pleases and in his own interest, twisting the necks of the text to suit his convictions and attitudes. 10. A failed husband is one who is dominated by negligence and indifference, quarrel for the most trivial reasons, deadly silence, wounding and stabbing. 11. Akram Rida also adds that a failed husband who thinks that the limits of his relationship with his wife are nothing more than a means of spending his sexual arousal and enjoying his instinct, and that is unilaterally his person regardless of his wife's circumstances, sensations, and feelings. But perhaps it goes beyond that to the point of believing that she does not need it and that her role and function are limited to the extent that it is required by the man's lust. It is also a characteristic of failure. There are qualities that characterize a man as well. They are capable of destroying the marital nest on his head and the head of his wife and family, including 12. Tasteless, and he is the one who is not used to the word thank you with his wife and the people of his house. He considers himself the master who hired a maid, and it is her duty to do everything he asks of her without thanks or appreciation. And on top of all this, he accuses her of negligence with a premium of not a few insults and insults. 13. Husband doubt. The origin of the relationship between the spouses is that it is based on affection, mercy, and trust, and that the woman saves her husband in his absence in his money and offer, and in the same amount of love, understanding, and affection between the spouses is the trust between them. 14. Inability to self-control. The successful husband is the one who has the ability to self-control even when the big mistake and seeks to reconcile the parties of this mistake and its motives and search for the safest solution. He who has the audacity even to ask himself may be the cause of that mistake, so he reviews himself and does not look at the straw in his wife's eye and ignores the wood in his own eye. Husband, if your wife's disadvantages are great in your eyes, mention his advantages. 15. The one who does not apologize. The failed husband is the one who claims to himself infallibility and does not sin. And if he makes a mistake, he does not give up his pride and arrogance, apologizes to those who have sinned against him, increases arrogance and increases self-esteem if the one who sinned against her is his wife. 16. Refraining from flirting. Another characteristic of failure was that husband who considered flirting to be a stage that took its time only in the engagement stage, and refrained after marriage from broadcasting the meanings of love and longing for his wife. 17. Routine husband. If the first years of marriage have elapsed, including their luster, promises, and hopes, then if the years are accumulating a number and responsibilities are increasing, the glow of the first years of marriage fades and prevails over the relationship between the spouse's monotony and routine, and that the failed husband is the one who considers this a necessary law and an innate system that cannot be penetrated or exceeded and surrenders to him and relies on him. 18. The failed husband is the one who denies and misses all the gentle and quiet means and quickly adopts the method of beating or ugliness as a means to support his position or quench the instinct of domination in him. 19. The failed husband. He is the one who opens a space for his family to interfere in the affairs of his wife and family, and is not wise in making a balanced equation between his family, wife, and family. 20. Finally, a generous husband covers up the disadvantages of his wife even from her guardians, and a mean husband talks about the disadvantages of his wife even to her enemies.